The black sheep is almost always the one who asks why. Why do we do things this way? Why does nobody talk about what is really happening? Why are we pretending everything is fine when it clearly is not? In families where silence is the norm, where keeping the peace matters more than telling the truth, the person who asks questions is not seen as curious or insightful. They are seen as difficult, disruptive, too much. And so they learn, slowly and painfully, that their natural way of engaging with the world is not welcome here. That thinking deeply is a problem. That honesty is dangerous. But here is what nobody tells the black sheep. The ability to question what everyone else accepts without thinking is not a flaw. It is one of the rarest and most valuable things a person can possess. In many families, the black sheep does not just feel different. They feel responsible for things that have nothing to do with them. When something goes wrong, somehow it circles back to them. When there is tension, they are the cause. When the family needs someone to blame, they are available. Psychologists call this scapegoating. And it happens in families where the real issues, the dysfunction, the unresolved pain, the things nobody wants to look at directly, need somewhere to go. So they go on to the person who is already seen as the problem. The scapegoat carries the family's shame. So the rest of the family does not have to. Footage, person carrying weight alone. Family dynamic playing out. If you grew up feeling like everything was always your fault, it was not because you were broken. It was because you were carrying something that was never yours to carry. The black sheep often feels things more intensely than the people around them. They cry when others do not. They feel hurt by things others brush off. They care deeply about people, about fairness, about truth, in ways that make the people around them uncomfortable. And in families that do not know how to handle emotion, or where emotion was never modeled or welcomed, this intensity is treated as a problem. You are too sensitive. You are too dramatic. You need to toughen up. Stop making everything about you. So they do what any child does when they are told their feelings are wrong. They start to hide them. They pack them down. They perform okayness while quietly drowning. But sensitivity is not weakness. It is depth. And the people who feel the most often become the ones who understand the most, the ones who heal the most, the ones who change the most in the people around them. Maybe you wanted different things than your family expected. A different kind of life, a different career, different values, different beliefs. Maybe you left the religion you were raised in, or stayed in it when everyone else left. Maybe you chose a partner your family did not approve of, or a path that made no sense to anyone around you. The black sheep rarely fits the template. And in families where conformity is valued, where everyone is expected to want the same things, believe the same things, live the same kind of life, the person who does not conform pays a price. They are misunderstood, excluded, held at a distance, sometimes actively rejected. But different is not wrong. Different is often just ahead. And the black sheep who was brave enough to be themselves, in a family that punished them for it, has already demonstrated a kind of courage that most people spend their whole lives searching for. Here is the sign of the black sheep that nobody talks about. In many families, the black sheep is the one who decides to stop pretending, to stop performing, to stop passing pain down to the next generation the way it was passed to them. They are the ones who go to therapy when nobody else will, who read the books, who ask the hard questions about why the family is the way it is, who refuse to repeat the patterns just because the patterns are familiar. In family systems theory, this person is sometimes called the identified patient, but they are not the sick one. They are often the healthiest one in the room, the one sensitive enough to feel what everyone else has learned to numb. The one brave enough to say, "This stops with me." Being the black sheep is not a punishment. It is often a calling. The calling to be the person in your family line who finally does things differently, who breaks what has been broken for generations, who builds something new. That is not a burden. That is an honor, even when it does not feel like one. If you are the black sheep of your family, I want you to hear this. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are not the problem. You were the one who felt what everyone else learned to ignore. The one who asked what everyone else was too afraid to ask. The one who wanted more, not because you were ungrateful, but because you knew something better was possible. The black sheep does not need to be fixed. The black sheep needs to be understood, starting with by themselves. You are not the black sheep because something is wrong with you. You are the black sheep because you were born into a family that did not yet know how to hold someone like you. And that is their loss, not yours. Subscribe to Holy Han Family for more content that sees you exactly as you are.